Ohio gozaimasu. Good evening. We've got some updates for you as we welcome you back to Motorsport 101, watches and reacts to the Rolex 24 Daytona and shifts. First and foremost, if you were not there for the first block of the broadcast, the corner worker that was involved in Dwight Merriman's accident has been taken to a local hospital, but is awake and alert and in no sign of any distress or life-threatening injuries. That's good. The second thing is that Tom Brady may not actually be retiring. His agent and his father have both refuted the reports that he was retiring that you may have heard earlier in the broadcast, exclusively on Motorsport 101. Third, the car that most of us picked to win the race just had a puncture and went down 2 laps.
Yeah, the Wayne Taylor number 10 car spun off at turn 1 and flat spotted those tires so bad that the right rear delaminated. That is what happened.
They are 2 laps off the rest of the leading group. Cam was slightly worried for his pick, but he is adamant that they will come back sometime around sunrise.
But I did say, they have legitimately come back from worse than this.
Yeah.
Quite a few teams have that have won this race have come back from almost impossible odds.
Indeed.
That's true. So, as it stands now, with 19 hours and 30 minutes left on the clock, Renger van der Zande leads in the number 01 Chip Ganassi Racing Cadillac DPI, ahead of Tristan Nunez in the number 31 Whelen Engineering Racing Cadillac, and Marcus Ericsson, IndyCar Series race winner in the second, the 02 Ganassi Cadillac. So it's all Cadillacs 1 through 5. Rinus VK, yes, that Rinus VK is leading LMP2 on behalf of Racing Team Netherlands. Let's jump right into it. The sun's going down. The sun's already been going down. We've been through the golden hour. King, how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling better than a random motorist on I-95 in Miami.
And for more information on that, visit jalopnik.com.
Oh boy.
Oh, that is some article. That is some gift for that article.
And then I need to check that out later. The last half hour or so.
Welcome, Trey.
Hey everybody. Yes, this may look alien to you, but I am here watching a sports car race. I'm as surprised as you are. But, unfortunately, I think Cam laced my bed with cocaine last night before I agreed to doing this stream. But,
just grabbed a pinch out of it from the snuff box.
Yes, of course. Like I said, I joke about it, but this is the one endurance race I do have a knack of tending to watch every year, and it's been a fun time so far. It's been a fun time.
It's the all-star race of coverage, and look who's getting suited and getting booted. Well, you can't look at it because we can't show the live pictures from IMSA TV on the stream because we don't have express written consent of IMSA. But if you are watching on IMSA TV at exactly 19 hours, 28 minutes, Jimmy Johnson is getting suited, getting booted, and getting ready to jump in the 48 to relieve Mike Rockefeller.
Jimmer!
He's not in this race. Jimmer's busy beating Max Verstappen around Le Mans.
Yeah, that's right. There's no Praga Cup category in IMSA yet.
I was literally about to say that's the internet's second most popular Jimmer.
We may actually have to come to the point where we decide if we want LMP3 or Praga Cup as a entry level prototype. Yeah.
Oh God, give me Praga Cup.
Truly a doomsday situation right there if it ever comes down to that.
Indy Lights alum Linus Lundqvist has just been scored as the leader, but I believe the GTD classes are in the middle of pit cycles.
Mm-hmm.
I hear engine noises coming off this broadcast, but we're just looking at Jimmy Johnson just
gazing.
The TV direction has been apocalyptic on the IMSA TV stream. It's
been a bit. Even I know it's a bit all over the place, to say the least.
Well, when the 10 car had its issue and was going slowly, they remained on the aerial cam for the entire duration of that incident.
Yeah, not ideal, to say the least. Also, my favourite comment so far in the chat from Raw Stygian, hello buddy, says, I point out that Corvette was sandbagging the whole time, and my second favourite is, but LMP3 is such a lol cow.
Yeah,
you're an 83 fan.
We've had pretty extreme dentist behavior in LMP3 so far. Every 10-15 minutes, we get a set of them spinning around.
Hey, yo, one of Peugeot's factory hypercar drivers driving an LMP2 spun under the pace car while leading.
Oh, amazing.
Time to rethink that higher, Stellantis.
No, I mean, it weird shit happens. Like, we were getting threats of ice on track, but
yeah,
of course, the track temperature's got to dip below freezing for that to happen, but still. Does Michelin make studded race tires that are this wide?
They give them a shot. You got that snow setup on?
Oh, that sun is coming down.
It's coming down quick. It's pretty much dark now at Daytona.
Yeah, because keep in mind, these cameras are capturing... keep in mind, it does make it look lighter than what it actually is out there. So,
Floodlights are your friend.
And luckily, you've got plenty of them here, because up on the banking, at this race, night isn't really night here. On the infield, though, it gets real dark.
That's right. That's why they call it Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona.
Let's go.
Also, which McLaren sadly died about 15 minutes before we went on the air?
That was the number 59 of Crucial Motorsport, if I recall.
Yeah, that was a bummer as well. That happened literally just before we went online. That was the in GTD. I think it was the Clark.
Yeah, I had a hot
Miller, Gallagher, and Hall.
I was thinking that was going to be what gave the 10 car a break. But they just pulled it off to the side of the track. I know we've been going in on LMP3, but my boy Josh Burton's leading in the car that also has Jared Andretti and Gabby Chavez in it. That was my pick to win the class because they have the most recognizable dudes in the car. And yeah, it's looking like a solid pick. 20-second lead as of the last time overtiming and scoring.
Yep.
And there's the shot, if you're looking overhead on the IMSA TV feed, of the gorgeous sunset we've got tonight.
That's so okay. You can have this one for a bit. It is nice.
Yeah, that's real nice.
The landscape in Florida is really beautiful when its state governor is not out here willingly enacting violence on everybody.
The most Florida man of all is the man who runs Florida.
The most Florida.
Got a question in the chat from our friend Daniel Montiero. Hi Daniel, good to see you, buddy. Said, by the way, as a bit of a side note, did you enjoy the new FE Quaddy format?
It was pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It did what it was supposed to do. Reward consistency and make qualifying seem less like a lottery. That's what everybody wanted out of the new format, and 2 races in, that's what we got.
Yeah, I'd say the only problem was the thing I was worrying about on the podcast, the time between the duels.
Yeah. You'll see more of that tomorrow when we upload our full season preview. I know it's a little bit late, but we had to get a lot of our off-season content up. But
when it goes up, you can, roast our picks.
Real issue I had with it was just the time between.
You could just roast our picks if it turns out after Diria they did not go so great.
I mean,
my picks went mid.
Yeah, I mean,
a whole lot of mid.
None of our picks started off the year terribly.
Well, yeah, it's a bit.
Well, actually, Jaguar did not have a great. They did not have a great time.
But King cut a promo on them. More on that when the episode goes on.
Hey, and was my promo wrong?
No, not at all.
Not this weekend.
Not at all this weekend. More on that when that episode comes out. As it stands in GTD.
Oh, we bet against the Cats.
Daniel,
what's this we shit?
Okay, I bet against the Cats.
No.
In GTD Pro. In GTD Pro. Currently have the number 62 Risi Ferrari leading of Davide Regan ahead of Dennis Olsen, Mauro Engel in the AMG that didn't get can opened in a sun-induced incident, and Matty Campbell in the number 9 Pfaff Porsche.
I am just... Yeah, Porsche looks strong. Corvette, as it turns out... maybe not the fact. Maybe this was not them coming off the canvas. I know they're 5th and 6th. I know they're on the same lead lap, but this is like the first time they've been... This is like the first time they've been featured in like this top 6, like on pace in a long time.
Yeah, and currently have a Mercedes 123 in GTD AM. So
including the main character of the GTD class for the weekend.
My goodness.
Where's that camera going?
Ranger van der Zando just was curb riding for his life.
Oh yeah, bouncing off that thing. It didn't help because if you're watching along on IMSA TV, that the camera sharply veered away as it was happening, thinking it might have been worse than it actually was.
Yeah, that made me think that like some crash had happened like on the entire other side of the track.
Not ideal. But hey, everything's fine. Take a deep breath. We're all good.
Meanwhile, number 79 Porsche in the garage.
Yeah, that was a tough one. They picked up a couple penalties and now they're in the garage.
In the garage, I'm looking on Twitter. The back of that 911 is no longer
is that the bit where the engine goes in?
That is the bit where the engine goes. As Jeremy Clarkson once famously said, as he put a lit pipe backwards in his mouth, it's a 911 Porsche. Hot bit goes at the back.
Was this one of the times where he just called it a dressed up Volkswagen Beetle?
No, this is when they were reviewing the Porsche design pipes, and then as a grown man put a lit pipe in his mouth, the hot end in his mouth.
Oh, the big end.
And it ended exactly how you think it would end.
Dre, were you here for the debate we had about Top Gear secondhand challenge cars, where I think we decided that Clarkson's pick of the Lancia Beta for the Botswana episode was like the worst challenge car, value for money?
All that motorsport heritage, right?
Oh, right. It was the first time I ever watched that. It deeply upset me that the Lancia had to go through that much pain and struggle for TV purposes.
And then you realize the Lancia was already dead. It was everyone else that was in pain.
Yeah, pretty much. On life support, just refused to die.
Would that be your choice for the worst challenge car ever?
It's in the conversation.
Well, it can't be the Range Rover. It's the most reliable car in the world.
Also true.
I cannot believe that the main character of GTD is running second with James Davison at the wheel. James Davison, of course, started a couple of Indy 500s. He's run NASCAR, run famous racing family. Not the coolest dude.
No. I figured out how to produce green. Figured out how to produce green fire from the on the right front of his Indy car one time.
Yeah, that's the last shot of that. It's Raw Seek video that I've posted several times.
When the fire is green, you know you have fucked up something fierce.
Yeah.
It's like either you're burning wildfire or you're burning magnesium.
Or it's transforming into Broly.
Oh no.
You got a driver change in LP2. The Dutch meme man, Gaindo Vandergaarde, has stepped in the 29, relieving Renus VK.
You know, between all the memes, all the controversy from Formula One, we forget he's actually a pretty damn solid LMP2 driver.
Yeah. It'd be fine if we just, focus on that instead of trying to be Holland's #1 internet racing funny man.
Whereas Daniel referred to the green fire, quote, "We call green fire engine-rich combustion." Or copper.
No.
If anyone ever watched Brainiac Science Abuse on Sky One back in the day in the UK, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to different coloured fires.
Oh my god.
King knows what I'm talking about. You do, don't you? Yes, King. You're a man of acquired taste. I respect it. All we need now is Richard Hammond in another white suit.
3-3 wide there.
Oh,
Daniel asking in the chat, do we know of any hypercar that will run at the Rolex 24 in the coming years? Safe to assume, given the sheer amount of mutually assured destruction that both IMSA and the WEC will be dealing with if they gatekeep one another's cars out of their given series.
Well, they already said they're eligible.
Yeah, so what's the point? I almost guarantee you we will see Toyotas and or Peugeots at this race.
Well, will the Peugeots be badged as Peugeots, or will they be badged as something?
I'd like to see the Jeep hypercar thrive.
Oh my god! Did you just imagine swapping out the front
pain on King's face
of a Peugeot 9x8 with a Jeep face swap?
Yeah, let's just welcome the Jeep Wagoneer hypercar.
It's got to have wood grain.
That's not a hypercar. That's a monstrosity you probably end up creating by accident on Forza Horizon 5.
It's 1,000 horsepower Grand Wagoneer.
If they rebadge it, if they don't rebadge it a Viper, I swear I'll be at Stellantis headquarters.
No. You do not call that a Viper. That does not have an 8.4 liter V10.
You know what we call that? We call that the SRT Tomahawk hypercar. Real Gran Turismo Sport players know. Pour one out for Gran Turismo Sport.
Please no 2,500 horsepower cars.
The 7. Oh man, these cars are vibrant.
Ames.
Boo
this man.
Not the 15 car right next to it.
For those who can see, the number 32, I can't believe it's not a W10 livery. AMG GT3.
In the chat, Dodge Dart hypercar.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Dodge Neon hypercar. Dodge Neon hypercar for the best car that Dodge ever made, other than the Viper.
The chat that is, I know Daniel's Portuguese, so I know he's from Europe, that are staying up this late to watch. The chaos has clearly come out to the forefront here.
The Chrysler TC by Maserati hypercar.
It works. They're under the Stellantis. They're both under the Stellantis umbrella now. We could get another TC by Maserati.
Do you want to? This is a LeBaron.
Shout out Mr. Cadillac Pits. And Marshall Pruitt has assessed CGR's social media manager for the use of front nose in an official team communication. The front nose as opposed to the rear nose.
Oh, God.
But who among us does not have a nose on the back of their head? Who among us?
Wow. Oomstiv. Pit stop for the number 52 wins car. You really just got to take the wins with the losses.
This was the car that spun under pace car, but under the pace car earlier. But they're back. They're still in with a shot to win.
And that team's got Nicolas Lapierre in it.
Nicolas Lapierre, who again has driven Le Mans many times as a factory driver, most notably with Toyota, and Mikkel Jensen, who is with Peugeot as a hypercar driver. I know it didn't look good. They spun under safety car. Yeah. I just hear the line of GT3s have no place at Le Mans on the radio. That's a spicy take.
That is a dumb take, is what that is. That's not spicy. That's stupid.
We just had Dodge Dart Hypercar. I mean, it's going to take some. That's going to take some doing in these stupid.
That just one-upped it. Like I'm actually impressed.
The chat, you have been defeated by IMSA Radio. I'm sorry to break that to you. You're going to have to raise your game. Those are rookie numbers. We need you to step those up. Just over 19 hours to go. It is dark here in Daytona now.
Yep. Last vestiges of sunlight are fading away.
Yep.
And
5% headlight at the moment.
And lighting that night is the extremely reflective, extremely white, number 48 Cadillac.
Rockefeller in the car at the moment, currently running second.
Mike Rockefeller, historically, very successful driver in sports cars. Winner of Le Mans. Winner of many a DTM race. We'd love to see him back in prototypes, because after just the worst things continuing to happen to him in prototypes, he took a few years off.
Also, you ask questions. A real question, though. Do you think the performance window needs to be increased for GT3 since they'll be running at Le Mans in a few years' time?
Nah, they're fast enough. They're fast.
Now, we've known that GTEs and GT3s are about as fast as each other. They just make up the speed in different ways.
I wouldn't go that far. What I would say is that the GTE cars gained a lot of lap time over the course of a few years. The current GT3 cars are more or less what the old GT2 cars were at Le Mans. So the differential in speed, especially since we're slowing down all the classes with hypercar being slower and LMP2, I would most certainly assume getting a nerf with the new regulations. Everything will get slower in equal amounts.
Yeah, because I think kind of the heart of the question, do the GT3s need to be faster for Le Mans? I don't think they do. They're fine.
No.
Yeah, I was always going to make that point myself about how everything's just getting slower now. So I don't think it will matter as much. Jimmy Johnson coming in for the number 48 car.
That is IndyCar Series driver Jimmy Johnson, famous for competing in the IndyCar Series.
Famous
and nothing else.
Famous for having the biggest super truck crash. You see the reflective paint on that car. God, that is bright.
So we expect Jimmy Johnson to fare better than he did this time last year, because it seemed like he was still very much getting to grips with the car as the weekend was progressing.
So. That'd be nice. Look, I have nothing but respect for Jimmy, even in his now mid-40s. Just saying, F it. I'm going to try all these new series. I'm going to have fun doing it. And, for me, that's what motorsport's all about. So I can't help but root for Jimmy here. I'd love to see him do well in IndyCar. I know he's taking on the ovals next year, which is fantastic. It's hard not to root for Jimmy.
Question: Do you think they'll straight up use normal GT3 cars? Yes, they will be using normal GT3 cars.
Yeah, it's effectively been confirmed by the powers at hand. Especially because we're also going to have new GT3 regulations coming into effect in the near future as well. Like 4-door GT3s.
Yeah, because what? It was 5 years ago when GT3 was as fast as the Group C cars on the Nürburgring.
Yeah, God, I do remember. I remember talking about that at one point. That was crazy.
There's your 40 years of tire technology coming into play.
Yeah.
Something Kamui.
Coach Kamui.
Coach Kamui. What a man. The man, the myth, the legend.
Number 59 car has been returned to the pits.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it appears it has experienced the big boom.
So we got some other driver changes to keep track of. Scott Dixon is in the leading number 01 car. On the subject of brand name IndyCar drivers, Scott Dixon won a few races, I guess. Yeah.
He's all right. It's him leading ahead of the 31. I believe that is timing having not caught up because, unlike other series, this timing only updates once per lap.
Go, Jimmy, go. I think this is the point where people just assume that, like, they wouldn't people wouldn't pay attention to this race unless a NASCAR guy was in it.
we got to put someone in there to get us through the night. It's like, Jimmy, you're working the graveyard shift.
Me seeing the Crown Royal Multimatic Ford in 2005 with the entire Roush Armada. About a 15-second gap between Dixon and Conway in second place in the number 31 Cadillac. Mike Conway. Pretty good. Conweezy himself.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier in their first block that, like, we have all three members of the reigning World Endurance Drivers Champions, and the only one that's not in the car with Kobayashi and Lopez is in the 31.
Yep. They'll split between, you casually need extra drivers for your race, and you get the three guys who won Le Mans last year to drive your two cars.
Richard Westbrook in the number 5 car, coming off his impressive performance in the qualifying race, and Kevin Magnussen
in the number 2 car.
Like we all just kind of went quiet there for Kevin Magnussen.
Another Peugeot factory driver. Last year's
allowed to
big
run
name,
here because Peugeot ain't here yet.
Oh no!
That's
we have a spun. We have that looks like a
P3. It looks like a P3.
It looks like a P2. Oh no, it is a P3. You're right.
It's a P3.
Yeah, it's car number 7. That's the 47 Motorsports car. In what we've affectionately nicknamed the dentistry class today.
More dentistry on display. The LEDs made me think that car was spinning through the infield on fire.
It's a warm glow, but it's not fire, thankfully. He's got it going again.
For those of you who played like the peak Black Box era Need for Speed games, like Post Underground, when it came to time to put neon underglow on your cars for prestige rating, what color did you go with?
Ooh. See, I went black. I went full like Mandalorian dark lightsaber sort of energy here.
I did the same actually.
Blue.
Let the record show I did not know what the Mandalorian was when I was like 9, but here we are.
Yeah, just out here seeing the future.
It was just a fortunate coincidence.
It looks like it's on fire out in the distance.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. Hey, we haven't even mentioned the new name of the bus stop chicane yet.
Oh, what happened there?
That was a big one.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same incident.
That's the same one. I'm trying to see what.
It's a very weird spin. It's like he spun in on himself like that.
Yeah, it seemed like they just lost it on the exit of turn 1.
Very weird.
Yeah, it's well past the exit. Maybe hit some of that mythical ice that Pipo Durrani was talking about earlier.
The mythical ice. Yeah, looks like the pit stops have shook themselves out. Dixon with a 12.7 second lead over Conweezy.
Tony in the chat. It's just a bus stop. There's no new name.
We refuse to call it anything else.
The Le Mans chicane, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Never.
If you want to go back to the old days, just run it without the bus stop.
Oh Lord.
So we're just doing 210 miles an hour around the front stretch, yeah?
It's like, yeah, Daytona and Le Mans got married. We're just gonna have to deal with it.
This is us consummating the wedding. It's after dark, people. It's 11:40 in the UK. I'm allowed to say that.
I guess I got some clarification on that comment about GT3 at Le Mans. I think it's more that Stefan Rattel doesn't want GT3 at Le Mans out of fear that, like, hey, I've seen GT classes take way too many liberties with being production based and then getting so bloated that they explode. What's up, GT1?
Stefan Rattel can die mad about it.
Yeah. If he's that worried, he could just prep GT4 just in case GT3 gets obliterated.
But see, that's the thing.
GT3 was so good. Why was there no GT4?
We're 5 hours in, everybody.
We are. And it's the same as it was when it wasn't 5 hours in.
Damn it. 19 hours to go here, folks. And as the sun sets on Daytona.
And it is a long, long night here.
And yes, if you've just joined us, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. You shouldn't be surprised that... in fact, I will come up with the famous line of death, taxes, Scott Dixon leads.
Oh man!
Scott Dixon first, Mike Conway second would be a plausible storyline for an IndyCar road or street race about 8 years ago.
Still going. Even as Dixon crosses the not so bright side of 40.
I've got good news.
Go on.
Jimmy Johnson is on the pace of those.
Good. Yeah. Good. We love to see it. Go on, Jimmy.
Yep. Not slow, Jimmy. Let's go.
That's good. Jimmy, average pace.
Unfortunately for everyone else, the only car in the 35s currently is, in fact, Scott Dixon.
This is a problem. He's in there going fast as hell, and he's probably saving more fuel than everybody else because he's the fuel whisperer.
Oh, I say that. Kevin Magnussen proves me wrong by 0.02 of a second. 1:35.998 last time around for Kevin Magnussen, the O2 car.
It is almost pitch black out there, and they're doing 1:35s around here.
Oh, it is certainly not pitch black.
Well, you know, relatively speaking for racing, anyway.
It was better back in 1971. Vic Elford had a crash here. Basically had a 911 land on top of his 917. Yes, land on top.
As you do.
And there were no lights here back then, so you had to wait to make sure that you had to wait and have a car go by to light the way back to the pits to make sure you weren't walking up onto the track.
We got Johnson and Magnussen fighting each other right now by the looks of it. Ooh, Jimmy!
Oh no!
Shoulders out from Jimmy on that defending there. K-Mag's trying to go the long way around here,
Mags
and I think he
get him.
got it.
Gets him.
Oh,
Nice
that's a
move.
beautiful pass. That's a beautiful pass from K-Mag.
There's no way Jimmy is out wheeling a former Formula One driver.
Maybe in about 2007 he could do it, but not now.
On an oval, maybe.
More soon on that front. Frosty saying, rented a Rolex in 2019. The banking is bright. Oh, you learn something new every day.
It is now. Back then, well.
Yeah, the floodlights ain't no joke.
Yeah, they are some powerful shit. More on that in MotoGP when they start their season on March 6th.
Don't worry, not here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, thank God.
Suffice to say, the days of Daytona International Speedway being a fixture of the MotoGP calendar, they've long gone. Hell, this isn't even a fixture of Moto America's calendar.
The Daytona 200 still always happens. It's just a shadow of its former self.
Did feature in Ride Free, the video game, though, in case you want to simulate your craziness.
Yeah, just casually take a 330-something horsepower prototype up on the banking here.
Sure. H2R, baby. Get that supercharger whirring.
Oh, God.
No, serious talk. Do not do that. Please.
Yeah, try that in Ride 4, and man, it shit gets scary real quick. Ask me how I know.
I can imagine that some very, very bad decisions are going to be made in this infield and spaces as the sun goes down, as it gets cold.
Well, I don't know. Are those bad decisions going to be on the level of Willie T. Ribs in the 1980s?
Oh no, that was a great decision, in my opinion.
Oh Lord,
Easy. He can do whatever the hell he wants. As long as nobody is telling Willie T. Ribs that JPEGs of apes are a good investment opportunity, he's fine.
Yep.
Don't tell John Terry that, yeah?
Don't tell the guys over at Ubisoft.
Oof.
Well, gamers just don't understand it yet. No, we understand it. Please stop.
Stop, Jimmy. We're on board him right now on the 48 cars, watching the IMSA TV.
Conweezy has that gap under 10 seconds.
Conweezy doing Conweezy type things.
I did notice they plugged Nico Lapierre in the 52. I may have done that earlier. I just barely noticed. Thank goodness, Matt Sigurza, reigning DTM champion, even though he's not on the Autosport top 50 for being DTM champion, he did jump ahead of James Davison GTD Pro-Am.
Not sure about this camera angle, TV director, if I'm honest.
What is with these camera angles during this? Is the worst I think I've ever seen it for IMSA. Yeah,
this is the worst in terms of camera direction. This is one of the worst IMSA broadcasts I've ever seen.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not even the sports car guy. They're just objectively not good.
It's usually not this bad, and I don't know what it is.
I think once again we can point it back to Florida, man. Conweezy's going ham right now.
Yeah, got that 8.3 at the front. Conway is on the move.
We've seen that before. He's won an IndyCar with Andretti and Dale Coyne and Ed Carpenter Racing.
Mm.
He's a bit good.
Pretty good. He's decent. You know.
Found something he likes in WEC and has been crushing it ever since. Finally has a Le Mans win to show for all his efforts. Oh, it just came down again at 6.4.
Jesus.
Scott Dixon's done plenty of endurance racing, so it ain't like he's a scrub at this.
No, absolutely not. But that difference in pace is startling, given it's at least a second and a half a lap over the last few laps. Daniel, I was surprised at the fact that the DTM finale wasn't even mentioned in the M101 Awards podcast.
That's because it didn't deserve to be.
It was a hotly contested fight for the Golden Cock this year. Like it's
we had people firing fadeaway jumpers at the buzzer for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just a reminder that the Brandon Brown cryptocurrency
on the day of the award show.
One whole month ago?
Yeah. The Brandon Brown LGB coin scandal was the day we recorded that show. We were like, oh, hang on a minute.
and within days, it was declined. The option was declined by NASCAR to allow this.
I told you, fiercely contested category. Maybe the most fiercely contested of any category, maybe ever in the M1.
It's kind of a trend, you know. Every year we have a lot of really good picks for the Golden Cock. Like there are many deserving cocks, but only one can be the Golden Cock.
Excuse me?
The nose, that's not the
I know what I said.
Live stream. Also, I love the double plus good results. I didn't even realize that the quick on in the background. It says double plus good in the chat. What's happening out there? Oh well, yeah, Australia is 77 for 2. It's the women's test. It's day 4. It's going to be a draw. Don't fret too much. We're pretty much done here. As are the crew right now in the Corvettes that are having a nap for the evening.
Got their blankets. They're just chilling. They're probably listening to whatever sort of like podcast or YouTube video that puts them to sleep. Not because it's bad content, but just because like it's very soothing and calming and puts you to sleep. Oh, Dixon got a little bit more of that time back to 8.7.
Somebody gave him a report. It's like, Dixon, stop thinking about the pancakes. Get cracking.
When is Scott Dixon never thinking about the pancakes?
When he's thinking about the...
Like, he's just thinking it's a cardio workout.
1 month a year when he's thinking about the milk.
Yup.
We got confirmation from Alex Riberas and the number 23 Aston Martin that was involved in a multi-car pileup coming into Oval Turn 1 that the 23 is out.
Oh.
The Mercedes that was involved in the wreck lost the rear on power, causing involuntary contact. Riberas actually put up an onboard of this.
Oh, yeah, the 75 was the car that caused the crash.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Involuntary contact and just snowballed from there.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a lot of racing things that I was not aware in the 23 car. That's in GTD Pro. Let's see if I can have a quick watch of this on our Discord server. We'll try filming this off of. To Twitter. Just on board of it now, and oh dear.
Yeah, that's on the Mercedes.
Yep. That'll do it.
At the time of the crash, we all thought it was the Aston's fault because we were unsighted by the sun.
That
Brutal.
was that of course was Sun Energy One Racing's amateur driver Kenny Habel at the wheel of that 75 Sun Energy One Mercedes.
Fortunately, kind of has a reputation for doing this sort of thing.
Dentistry.
Mm.
I know Kenny Habel is not a dentist.
Depends on the context.
Sure is
of the
driving like one.
Where else are you going to see Scott Dixon lining up a pass around the outside of Gato Vandergarde?
iRacing.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
Scott Dix never returns to iRacing.
He was on iRacing?
After swearing out and attacking the IndyCar so completely during the pandemic that he basically got himself kicked off the service.
Wow, like, Dixon's normally quite mild-mannered. That actually surprises me.
Like, oh, how dare you, checks notes, Scott Dixon, question the accuracy of our IndyCar.
Who knows better? The data people or the guy who has how many championships in IndyCar?
What, 6?
6. Has a Indy 500, has a whole bunch of wins, has
Mm-hmm. At least one win a year for the last 18 years now, something stupid like that.
Yeah, there's way more than 0% chance that there are developers at iRacing younger than Scott Dixon's IndyCar career.
younger than his winning streak.
Oh my god. Oh, still disappointed last week during the Le Mans Virtual 24 that we didn't suddenly get the sprinklers turned on like we were all hoping they might do. Oh my god, rain!
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, in a couple minutes as we start to wind down this block, the Royal Rumble's starting, and I'm not used to it being on a Saturday.
That is weird, man.
Oh, Lord.
It's like, let's fight. What creative way would the WWE fuck the fans over this time round?
I guess we'll find out.
Man wakes up on Sunday morning. Man, can't wait for the Royal Rumble. Goes on social media. What do you mean the pay-per-view was on a Saturday?
What do you mean? You know it's good when Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com is just tweeting out the cringe emoji by itself and people are already worried. Oh boy. Speaking of cringe emoji. This is dicey.
Dixie Mania here, going around the outside.
Gap is kind of stabilized around 11 to 12 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Dixon's been given a bit of the hurry up. It's like, he's getting a bit close for our liking, fellas.
Oh.
That's a block. He's going to be angry, gesticulating as he goes around the outside of it.
You just call him on the broadcast Scott Diction.
Scott
Is that what I just heard?
Well, that would be ironic that they would call him Scott Diction.
So it's going to be in the next hour or two. Is it going to be us sitting down learning how to speak like Scott Dixon?
Surely not.
Meanwhile, gap in GTD Pro under a second between the leading 62 Ferrari and the chasing number 2 KCMG Porsche. Down to about 0.8 of a second. Noted Kielami legend Dennis Olsen behind the wheel of the KCMG Porsche.
Oh, yeah.
Your boys, your car, RJ.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's my car for a free and independent Hong Kong.
Damn right.
Like, whoa, be careful what you say. We might get blocked in the People's Republic of. Oh wait, this whole website's blocked in China.
But so is
Okay.
online. So is online gaming.
No,
But it doesn't
Well-
stop like Premier League clubs from featuring Chinese, Filipino betting companies on their shirts.
Well, in the famous words of Dave Chappelle, fuck them.
Ooh.
I'm going to keep
Now-
scaring you with that line every time.
Well, yeah.
I
It's because Dave has come out with some other famous words more recently since the end of his Comedy Central show.
no. After the Comedy Central show, Dave Chappelle went to Africa and never came back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. It's fine. He just disappeared. He had to go. His home planet needed him.
He returned to his home planet.
Okay, Agent K.
Okay, I think we're getting to the end of this block here.
Yep.
About 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Flashy.
Okay.
Oh my
Ooh.
God, Dixon. That is
Get us
not
to at least-
necessary.
We get us to at least 18:30 left. We get us to 18:30 left on the clock.
Okay.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah. Even this out. How does Andrew Marriott sound like he has so much energy for a guy who's like 206?
This dude has been covering the sport for too damn long.
He was the commentator of the Loudiverse Hunt race.
Yep.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
still in the game.
He's still doing it.
And that was what, 1976?
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
Closing it on 50 years ago.
What?
I'm also a big fan of how his avatar from a distance, it's an illustration of him doing his job as a caricature, but every time I think, this is just a drawing of Wayne Knight of Seinfeld fame.
Oh no!
Have the utmost respect.
There is
everybody
all
who's-
manner of people catching strays during this block.
Yep, everybody's getting caught.
I say this with the utmost respect for everybody that's doing this job, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, because this is not an easy job. Like, covering a 24-hour race is probably one of the hardest things you could ask of anyone in motorsport.
You got to be awake.
Or in
You gotta be
sports
good.
broadcasting in general, I argue. It's this is wild stuff. So we
The
salute
ver-
them all.
The best way that you could tell that a broadcaster is good is how well they fill rain delay time.
Yeah, and you got a lot of empty time during a 24-hour race.
Oh yeah.
Because you cannot be David Croft at 10 out of 10 for 24 hours like you can for like a 90-minute race.
Yep.
You mean we can't go bird watching like Jake Humphrey did at Canada 2011 when we had an hour rain delay and everybody was struggling?
Well, look at the sky. Where are the birds at? It's real dark out.
Real dark,
There's
it's real cold.
No red-shouldered blackbirds here then, no?
Birds are
No,
nesting.
the birds flew south for the winter. They saw it was this cold and then decided to go further south.
We got a couple of interesting sightings of people getting cars. Joao Barbosa still in the league in LP, running third in LP3. Luis Delatraz, John Denis' son, and virtual Le Mans winner, fourth in LMP2.
What are we looking at, TV director?
Yeah,
The entrance.
they're vibing on the Goodyear blimp right now.
You would believe this
Oh,
footage.
gosh. This footage has been awful. It pans up to the Goodyear blimp. Is that the Michelin Man?
Oh no.
Michelin Man has commandeered the blimp.
Saboteur.
If you're a Pokemon fan, it's the Dynamax version of the Michelin Man.
A
Stadium
second
size.
a second blimp has hit the media center.
Wait, that's not a blimp.
Knew we could never
Honest
trust
King
the
has put out
Michelin.
a factually correct tweet that there are 7 DPI cars at Daytona. Put me in one, and the worst we could do is finish top 10 in class.
Sounds good.
Someone
get your coworker.
Whoa! She doesn't work at this one. She doesn't work at the same website as me.
Not anymore.
people think we're related for some reason.
Oh yeah, you guys look so alike.
On one of my other, I got followed on one of my other accounts by Mikel Arteta. Oh no, sorry, this is not Mikel Arteta. This is just a guy whose display name is Mikel Arteta and whose avatar is Mikel Arteta. Sorry for the Premier League discussion on our racing podcast.
The football Twitter has invaded us.
Oh Lord.
Ratio then.
I've been ratioed by an account called Kloppology.
What?
I'm joking.
Kloppology.
What?
As in Jurgen Klopp, not.
Oh, fucking hell.
And on that note, it's time to end.
This is like
30
What?
winners
He's in?
from second place.
Conway comes in. Fuel and tires.
Was only 8 seconds behind Nixon.
Yep. Now keep in mind, due to the temperatures being this low at this stage of the race, new tires are very, very treacherous.
They're cold. We talked about how cold they were, like when it was the middle of when the sun was beaming down on the track. Now there's no sun, which means the track's colder, which means the tires are colder.
Yeah, we need to find a workaround. We need to just head out into the infield with a big stack of tires and be like, hey, does anyone want to rest their grill on top of these tires?
What I like is that explicit tire warmers were banned at a time in the ALMS, so instead they just bought ovens because you couldn't warm them with tire warmers, but you could put the tires in ovens to warm them.
Sure. Why not, right?
We're just going to all head down the Lowe's, come back with like a dozen ovens.
It's like, lads, we're good to go.
Audi had like a whole array of just fucking baking ovens.
Now,
in like 2009 to warm their tires.
Now, what, you just preheat the tire ovens to 400 degrees, or are we just setting it to broil?
Nah, we need convection 350. We need to make sure we get just full coverage.
We gotta make sure that the rubber is able to rise. That's when you can tell that the tires are ready to serve.
You need to be able to heat the tires evenly.
Yeah, you don't want them. You don't want them being like the 2019 Ferrari would treat its tires, like a hot pocket in the microwave on the fritz, where the outside is burning hot, but the inside is still frozen.
Yeah. They banned tire blankets, but they did.
We almost have friendly fire in the GTD Pro class. That's the Risi Ferrari coming out as the number 15 Riley WeatherTech Mercedes comes in.
Man.
If only it was iRacing.com where the cars can just clip through each other.
Yeah.
Daniel, precisely. They banned tire blankets, but they did not ban the act of warming tires.
Yeah.
That is why vocabulary and phrasing are important.
Extremely. Nuanced, people. Nuanced.
That's why phrasing is important, and that's why successors of Marv Albert do not describe a player throwing down a dunk on another player as, quote, throwing up a facial.
Get me out of here. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, I can leave.
Very true.
I love how, like, the first hour was just a fairly straight-laced, almost radio-style broadcast of the event, and the sunset hour
then we have to
just
add that Motorsport 101 flavor to it.
Yeah.
Now, this is who we are. This is why you're here. What else would you really be here for? Serious punditry? I'm here, for God's sake.
We tried for a few minutes, but
we really did.
I'd like to think I lasted a good half hour here.
I'm glad
I'm just gonna leave that.
I'm glad we're not coming back to like an hour, like 2 hours to go.
Yeah. So yeah, for those guys who enjoyed this, or enjoyed part 1, if you hear from part 1 as well, we'll be back. Technically speaking, in the UK tomorrow. Well, actually today, because it has gone past midnight here in the UK.
Yeah.
We'll be back for the last hour and change or so. Stay tuned for that on social media. Good chance all 4 of us will be back here for that as well. 13 in the glass.
Man, this car has had a hell of a time so far this race.
Just having a good time, having a good time.
From the star, waiting for the star. He's got it going again. That's all good. So it's like we'll be back here with about an hour or so to go later on today for the finale.
Can we call it noon Eastern tomorrow? So I assume that's 5 for you, Dre, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that good for everybody?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good for me.
I'm good for noon. I'm very good for noon, as we learned that M Sport are coming to LMP2 later on this season.
That is extremely dependent on me working tomorrow.
But we'll see. I know there's a bit of snow over your side, isn't it, Cam?
Just a little bit. Bombo Genesis!
Indeed. We'll see how we go. But me and King will definitely be here. What more could you ask for, really? But we'll be back for that then. Again, everyone who is affected by that snowstorm, please stay safe out there, of course. Hope to see you, I guess, tomorrow for you stateside fans out there. But I hope you guys enjoyed the block. Hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And hopefully we'll be back in about 15 hours' time. Take care.
Later, y'all.
Stay
inside, Northeasterners. Stay inside.
Now is not the time to get a piece and lead the race at the same time.